Alright, so it's time for another RuPaul's Drag Race review of Season 10, Episode 2. And so we also are going to have a fun mini game before we get started. This is Nick's Nerd Network, and I'm Nick.
And we're not.
Alright, so for this week's mini challenge, we wanted to go along with the theme of the pharmaceutical musical. So I racked my brain for something we could do, and I decided to do a truth or false version of drug side effects. So I'm going to talk about commonly used drugs, and I'm going to read off a really rare, obscure side effect that has occurred with that drug, and Jay and Elias are going to decide if they think it's true or false, or fact or crap, whatever they want to say. And we'll see who wins. And some of these are going to be real side effects, and some of these are going to be made up by me. So we'll see if you guys can tell the difference. Ready to play?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Get excited, guys.
Yeah!
There we go. That's energy. All right. The first the commonly used drug is birth control, and the side effect is uncontrollable and excessive farting and gas. True or false?
I'm going to say false.
You would both be correct. Yay. All right. Ready for the next one? Ibuprofen may be preventing you from being able to consume coffee. True or false?
I'm going to say that kind of makes no sense, so false.
I'm going to say false.
You're actually both wrong. It's actually true.
What?
In some rare instances, ibuprofen can cause a rare type of stomach ulcer, and anything that's the consistency of ground up coffee will immediately be expelled from your body if you drink it. So even if you're drinking it, the grounds will irritate that and immediately make you throw up. So I would assume it would be like coffee or like any sort of powdery or ground up kind of thing. It's very, very rare. I think it happens in less than, I think they said like less than 0.2% of people. Very, very rare. All right, so NyQuil. Let's talk about NyQuil. So it can cause, in rare instances, temporary erectile dysfunction.
False.
I would say true.
It is actually false. I mean, that's so Jay is taking the lead by one. Oh no, you got. You guys both said false in the last one.
Yeah.
All right, next one, Pepto-Bismol. So it can change the color of your tongue.
True.
That is true. Your tongue can become darker by consuming Pepto-Bismol. Jay's still in the lead by 1 point. Viagra may lead to it being necessary to amputate one's penis.
True.
False.
It is actually true that when they say if you experience an erection for more than 4 hours, see a doctor. In some rare cases, I mean, not all times when that happens do you have to get amputated, but sometimes the blood vessels are not going down and there's so much blood flowing down there that it can be dangerous and they actually have to amputate your penis. Yay, Viagra! Yay!
That sounds made up, but okay.
It's actually true.
It's true.
All right, so it's tied again. Amoxicillin may cause you to do poorly in math.
False.
Poorly? True.
It is actually false. I messed that one up.
Well, I mean, it probably doesn't make you do anything very well.
It's true.
So it's up for
It's not
interpretation.
specifically impacting your processing part of the brain, so. So actually, that's all the questions I had. That's all the drugs that I had. So Elias wins!
Woo!
Yay! It was a good game, though. It was close. I actually didn't expect you guys to get as many right as you did.
Well, it's fake news.
They're not all fake news.
Real. I won.
All right, so let's get on to the RuPaul review. All right, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty of the episode. So first, let's talk about the mini challenge with the dancing. Did you guys we don't necessarily talk about who's our favorite or worst or anything like that, but does anything stand out to you about the mini challenge that?
I was instantly bored because it was country, like a hoedown. Doesn't appeal to me at all.
Don't come for my heritage.
I thought it was fun. I mean, they were all looked like they had a good time doing that. So.
But did anything stand out to you from it at all?
Well, I will say it was very ambitious for Aquaria to really take that pull the way she did.
She took it.
Wow.
Took it like a champ. I would say for me, one of the biggest things I saw was, I mean, it really wasn't as much related to the challenge, but it was quick drag, and I couldn't believe how, like, good Miss Cracker looked. Just, I mean, only having a few minutes to prepare. And, you know, thinking back to Aquaria's comment, I mean, maybe Miss Cracker knows that face a little bit more than she does, because she was able to, like, turn it out like that.
But if you look at it, though, like, all Miss Cracker had that kind of really stood out was she had, like, a dress she probably just threw on and a big wig.
Her makeup, though, was really good. Like, it looked like full drag. To me, at least. I thought it was impressive.
It looks good, but I like the people who took it to the fun level, too, of, like...
Make it more campy and more
make her campy, looking
comedic.
like missing teeth, and, like,
Yeah.
they really...
And
looked like
I'm
they-
not saying she was the best. I was just impressed by, like,
Yeah.
how much she was able to turn out so quickly. So, in the the pharmaceutical musical, or however they say it, who do you think was the strongest performer and the weakest performer?
Weakest performer, I would have to say probably Miss Calorie Kardashian.
Calorie.
I mean, she was kind of stumbling. She almost fell in a chair. Watching it, we kind of rewatched it the second time, the performance, and she was kind of missing some of the lip sync words. So, I mean, she kind of faded in the background, and she was obviously stumbling through the whole thing. So she's my weakest.
Yeah, I was surprised a lot of her choreography led her behind the group so often. And, I mean, unless that was a mistake on her part, but I feel like otherwise it was structured. That was unfortunate that she was being put behind people for a lot of her lines. What do you think, Elias? Who do you think was your top and bottom?
Well, let me say
Oh, sorry, you didn't say your top.
My top would be Dusty Ray Bottoms. He was very on point with his choreography, his facial expressions, his lip sync. He did a very, very good job with his portion of his number.
Yeah, I thought he was very noticeable. He caught my attention more than once throughout through the scene. What about you, Elias? Top and bottom.
I think it was the Vixen definitely won it
Yep, as your top.
as my top.
Okay. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because she led her team to victory. They seemed like they were not going to go anywhere, but they end up doing really well, beating the other team.
And that's a lot of pressure on her
It
to be
is,
the team leader.
She did really well, and she led her team and made them feel confident. Obviously, they won.
And who's your bottom?
Calorie.
Yeah, she definitely struggled, and it didn't help that she kind of it hurt her last week, and she was still there.
Yeah.
I would say for my bottom, I would choose. I think Eureka was my bottom, and I think, was she the worst out of everyone? Maybe not, but I'm kind of expecting more of her because she's been through this experience and she needs to be able to get over those nerves a little bit more.
Well, remember last season she was in that Kardashian performance, so she should have known what to expect. And having had done something like that last season, coming into this season, having that experience and that jump on or leg up on the competitions.
And I think the Kardashian Brusical, that was, like, a lot of their lines are more slow paced, and then her role was, I forget the baby's name, but the baby Kardashian. Mm-hmm. So she didn't have choreography, which, again, at the time she was on crutches, so I think that she was, like, just standing for a reason. But she didn't have choreography to worry about, and she also didn't have a huge part. So it was like at the very end, she kind of wrapped things up, and then she, like, was the narrator at the beginning.
But she again, she saw what it was like. She, she was there for last season's performance.
Yeah, I think she should have been been held more accountable than some of the girls because she's more experienced. And then I would say my top, even though she's not my favorite right now in terms of personality, Aquarius stole the most attention for me. And I know that she didn't quite fit the mold of what they were looking for. They were looking for an older woman, but, like, performance alone, I really liked it. It reminded me of that Pillsy, like, very, like, out of it that Trinity did when she was playing the mom on
90210.
Yeah, 90210. Like, she's like, I'm addicted to speed too. Like, it just, that face, it was like capturing that, like, pilled out look of, like, an older cougar lady. So she was my top. What do you guys think in terms of looks? Who do you think your top look of the night was for the runway performance?
I would say my favorite one would probably be Dusty Ray Bottoms. I know I keep saying his name, but he really stood out with that like bedazzled blazer, the striped blazer, and then like the polka dot ascot. It's very fashion forward. He looked very like put together. And what I like most about him is that he kind of got the critique from Michelle last week about his eyebrows and the dots in his face. And he took that note and he edited it to make the judges happy, but he's so kind of stuck to his own aesthetic because he had some dots that just wasn't as prominent as it was last week. So
right, he edited.
Yes,
he did some editing.
So I was very impressed with that. So he was my top runway look tonight.
Who was your top?
I would say Asia O'Hare because she looked flawless. Her makeup looked beautiful. Her outfit was polished, beautiful. But
Was hers the pink one?
Yes.
Okay.
And I also say Dusty. Dusty Ray Bottom did really well too. I'm picking two.
I mean, the judges were eating up Dusty Ray's like look. They were like, "Oh, we'll fight you in the parking lot for that blazer."
But they were also like with Asia. She looked beautiful. Like her hair, everything was on point.
I thought you were going to say the judges were eating up Dusty Ray's bottom.
Well, I mean,
I was like, wow, he's
we
not
don't
going
see
there.
what's done off camera, so we don't know. I mean,
I think the only one eating out bottoms is Michelle. So I would say that my top pick of the night was, Eureka. I thought Eureka's look was my favorite of the night. My only critique is I wish she wouldn't have used that sequence fabric where you rub it and it changes color. Because when you're looking at it with the cameras on it, it looks like it's torn in some places where the sequences are folded up. But in terms of like a full-on bodysuit, that is so hard to get not only a good silhouette, being like a full-figured woman, whatever, but also like just making it look so good and so creative. I mean, I've seen her do a lot of bodysuits that were very unflattering, but this was flattering and I loved it. I couldn't stop looking at her.
right?
I thought it was great.
And her wig was really nice too. Like it's like the wavy, like kind of pompadour, like old-fashioned kind of thing. That was really well done too.
Yeah, I think she looked beautiful tonight too.
Yeah, I think I'm glad that like in an instance I thought she was the bottom, but also like brought it back in the look. So kind of evened things out for me for her. Who do you think was your least favorite look of the night?
I would say, probably Aquarius. I hated that big bowl like ring thing on her nose, and I don't know. And like the see-through and the green like boa. I wasn't really feeling it tonight with her.
Yeah. I would say too, I'm not a big fan of the neon colors, like especially that neon green. It's very non-flattering to a lot of complexions. What did you think, Elias? Who was your bottom for the fashion runway part?
The afro.
The afro.
I love the hair.
The Asian one.
What is her name?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. I know who you're talking about because her makeup is very similar to Bianca Del Rio's, but I still haven't learned everyone's names yet. But I'll put her name under the picture, I promise.
She did good in the challenge.
She was the one who was a caution tape last week.
Yes.
Yeah. She did good in the challenge, but it was all right.
Yeah, I think that she's going to be running out of chances here pretty soon. Although she didn't really get red at all for the caution tape dress, which surprised me. I would say my bottom was Monique Hart. I honestly really hated the whole monster look thing.
Yeah.
I think that if she started with what was underneath, it would have been a little better and embellished upon that. But it was kind of like it was a letdown of a reveal. And honestly, the eyes on top of her head, like you're taking a risk wearing something that's silly and goofy. I mean, I'm a cosplayer. I love that shit. Like, I think that's great. And I think that those kinds of things are creative. But you could see where like the paint was running. It wasn't very pristine and sharp. And it's like, if you're going to take that risk, you better make sure you're cleaning it up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it has to look polished, but at the same time,
I didn't mind it. I thought it was a fun look.
I thought it was a fun look, but I thought that it could have been executed better. I thought like something like that's going to draw a lot of attention, and if it's going to draw a lot of attention, it needs to look good. So I would say she was my, but like saying she's the bottom really isn't saying a lot because I liked a lot of the looks tonight. I thought there was a lot of really strong looks, so it was kind of hard to find someone that I didn't like. So. I mean, it was a strong episode, and it was splitting hairs, I think. Most of what went into deciding who's in the bottom was probably from the dance challenge.
yeah.
We were pretty much unanimous in agreeing that we agreed with who the bottoms were, with Calorie and Eureka. Did we want them there? No, but did they deserve to be based on the episode? Yes. We agreed unanimously that Eureka won the lip sync. She came out really strong. I'm glad she got her confidence back. I know you guys didn't get to see as much of the Untucked, but episode as a whole, and including what you saw of Untucked, who do you think had like the shadiest interaction of all the queens?
I just the Vixen. I mean, she's always kind of like pushing little comments out there, trying to like stir the pot a little bit. I mean, I know last week's in an Untucked episode, she was like bringing up the whole rivalry between Aquarius and Miss Cracker. So I kind of feel like throughout the season, she's going to be the one to kind of like that we're all going to get tired of. Mm-hmm. I mean, so far she's been to me the most shady.
Unlike Aja, she wants to be the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's been the most shady. I agree.
Yeah, and I honestly don't think it's intentional shade. I think she's just one that's like, oh, there's something going on over here. Like, let me see what part I can take in that. Like,
yeah, she likes to call things out and call people out, but at the same time, I think she kind of like enjoys the drama that comes with it. So I mean, she's a drama queen.
I think for me, the shadiest so far is Aquaria. I mean, I liked her performance, but I think she's the shadiest. And it was shady of Vixen to bring it up, but I'm really glad she did. She's like, you know what? Like, if you're going to sit here behind closed doors and talk shit about Miss Cracker, like, I'm going to bring it up. Like, don't sit here and pretend like, oh, yeah, it doesn't bother me. It's okay that we're doing similar makeup. I think that's shit. And I don't think it's... like I said last episode, I did not think it was fair for her to bring that up. I did not think it was professional of her. I thought it was whiny. Okay. And I'm glad that someone called her out. And I'm also glad how Miss Cracker handled it. She was very mature about it and didn't let it bother her.
Yeah.
So is there anyone right now in the show, maybe you can pick like a top two, not necessarily they're doing the best, but you are living for more, you're relating to more, you like more, you
like
want
rooting
to see
for
more
him.
Of. Yeah, who are you rooting for?
I'm going to say Dusty Ray Bottoms again. I'm really impressed. I like his aesthetic. He's one of them. And then the other one, I would say I'm actually really drawn to Miss Cracker. I mean, she's really polished. She has a good look and drag, and I see her going far in this competition.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Elias? Anyone standing out to you right now?
Right now, it's been Miss Cracker. That's probably my favorite right now. And I like Asia. I think she looks very pretty and polished. But this is subject to change throughout the season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Polish can only get you so far, but we'll see. She might be adaptable.
Yeah.
Like Kennedy's very polished, but she's adaptable.
Right.
I would say, again, sound like an echo, but Miss Cracker is probably my top favorite. For me, she's like a facial assassin. She's very quiet and mild-mannered, but then like when it comes to performing, she is right there making the faces, and I'm living for it. So I love it a lot. And then I would say my other top, I don't necessarily think she's being the best or drawing the most attention right now, but personality-wise, I'm attracted to her, is Blair St. Clair. I like her a lot. She reminds me a lot of Ivy Winters, but I hope that this isn't kind of like her one note of like, oh, I'm nice, I'm friendly, but like, can you bring it to the stage? I thought she fell into the background a little bit this episode.
She did.
But I hope she lasts a while, because I think she's someone who stands to learn a lot from the competition, and seeing someone, where is she from again? Indianapolis. So we don't get to experience that kind of drag on RuPaul's Drag Race. She's the first one. So I'm interested to see more of what Indianapolis has to offer. I think we pretty much covered the episode pretty well. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to touch on?
I think we covered everything I wanted to talk about.
Good.
All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This is another episode from Nick's Nerd Network, and this is Nick signing off. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. If you like this episode of Nick's Nerd Network, please like and subscribe. If you have different opinions or would like to share some of your ideas, please share these in the comment section below. Please keep it constructive and friendly. Thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.